I'm going to show you how to make this lovely box look a little more colourful, with a few tips you can use to plan your own colour scheme and bring your own base to the next level. With roughly 5% of people working with a colour vision deficiency, we've even taken that into account, so let's get cracking. First thing first, let's get the controls out of the way. By default, you can hit P on your keyboard to pull up the palette. This lets you pick and modify a colour or select a skin. If you want to copy a paint job already on a block, select a block on your hotbar and press Shift P. You only get a few skins in the base game and they're all great varied skins, but getting yourself a few DLCs will get you some more. You can cycle through the colours in your palette with the square brackets, and you can cycle through your available skins with Control and square bracket. These colours will be applied when you place a block down, but you can also paint existing blocks by using the middle mouse button, which on most mice is just clicking in your scroll wheel. If you want to paint a wider area, Control middle clicking will paint a 3 block cubed area, Shift middle click paints a 7 cubed area, and Control Shift middle clicking will paint the entire grid, but not subgrids. Keep this in mind when you're painting. I cannot tell you the amount of times I've accidentally painted an entire grid pink by accident. An important tool you need is a dedicated spot to plot your colours on, to act as a sort of artist palette to mix and test your colours on. In survival, you might want to pick a portion of your build that has most, if not all, of the features that you're going to encounter through your build, but as we're in creative mode for this build, we're going to make a miniature version of it. The common parts that I want to address in this colour scheme are the columns, the walls and floors, the conveyors, and the spots where the base interacts with the ice at the very bottom. With a palette found or built, it's time to start picking colours and skins. When picking the colours, try to keep in mind the purpose of the elements that you're going to be painting. For example, the structure and connectors, to me, should feel like they're being tested by time, so I tend to pick the battered armour skin for those. But the walls benefit nicely from the corrugated armour skin, which brings to mind a military look from buildings such as the Nissen hut. If while picking your colours, colour vision deficiency is something you're wanting to keep in mind, don't rely on hue to differentiate the colours. Green and yellow can look very different to different types of CVD, for example, so you'll probably find that using specific value and saturation values, as well as varied skins, are going to help more. This should help keep things easier to read for everyone, but try to check in with someone with CVD to make sure you're getting the effect you're going for. One of the quirks of painting in Space Engineers, though, is that it can be very difficult to be sure that you're going to be painting the right block. With that in mind, I recommend using the Paint Gun mod by Digi. It adds a paint gun that uses ammo made from gravel that you can use to paint the grid. It lets you more easily get into the nooks and crannies of your grid, and frankly, is one of the most relaxing things I've done in Space Engineers. You can find a link to the mod in the description below. Before you get painting though, you're going to need a base, and this video here is going to help you get one started.